in your head, in your head. Zombie, zombie, zombie. Oh, oh, oh. Hello, and welcome to the next episode of Matt and Todd Go to the Movies, the podcast where Matt and Todd either go see a movie or watch a Netflix film, and then we talk about it in Matt's Xterra, record it, funnel it into the internet so it can come to you, and then you listen to it, and hopefully everything's copacetic. I am Todd Domer.
And I'm Matt Malloy, and yes, welcome to another exciting episode. Today, we're going to be talking about a Netflix movie, and this movie is called Army of the Dead. It is, as Todd alluded to with his entrance theme music today, about zombies.
True.
And what in... There's some strange things are afoot at the Circle K at the movie theater parking lot.
Man.
I don't know.
There's always something going on when we're trying to record.
Yeah.
Like, that takes our attention off of what we're doing.
It's true. All right, back to the podcast. We are at the movie theater parking lot, even though we're reviewing a Netflix movie.
True.
That's because we're so dedicated to our podcast that we go to the movie theater parking lot to record no matter what. Anyway, so Army of the Dead. Who's in it? We've got Dave Bautista is in it. He's the main star. He's the main man.
Yeah.
And also someone who we've seen recently in Mortal Kombat, Hiroki Sanada.
Yep.
Is in it. And I don't know. That was kind of it for me. Is Ella Purnell a famous person?
I don't think so. The only other people that I recognized from this movie was Tig Notaro, who's a comedian, not really an actress.
Okay.
She was the helicopter pilot.
Gotcha.
And then...
I did like her.
I can't remember the guy's name. The guy who was the head of security person who went on the mission for them. I recognize him from some other movies, but then the show Raising Hope.
Gotcha.
But I wouldn't classify either of those two people as super famous. Or
Right.
Like
So yeah, not really an all-star cast, I would say.
no.
But this movie is about zombies. It's a heist zombie movie. I'm going to classify it as heist zombie.
That's fair.
And what happens is you get treated to a little bit of zombies overtaking Las Vegas. Las Vegas getting walled off with big container things from like you would find on the back of a truck or
shipping
container type things. So there's a huge wall of these surrounding Las Vegas, and then you've got a few different characters, and obviously I said Dave Bautista's character Scott Ward is well. Before we get to that, the United States has made a decision. The president has made a decision to drop a nuclear bomb on Las Vegas and wipe out the zombies once and for all. So that sort of sparks this guy to come and approach Scott Ward and say, hey, there's like all this money in this vault in this casino. It's like hundreds of millions of dollars. And we want you to go get it out of there. And here's an elaborate plan. You need to create your team of people and get into Las Vegas somehow, and then, get out before the bomb blows it up.
Yep.
So he goes around recruiting people and recruits a bunch of people who are skilled in various ways. There's a safecracker, a helicopter pilot.
It's very typical heist movie.
Yeah.
Get the team. Dun 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 dun.
Yeah. There's a zombie killer specialist. And then there is Scott Ward's daughter, Kate Ward, who worms her way into the proceedings there, and they get to bond over the course of the movie and sort of redeem their father-daughter relationship. So yeah, the team is formed. The team gets into Las Vegas. They go to where the vault is. They get into the vault, losing people along the way, and then at the end, there's very few people left at the end of this movie who are alive.
Mm-hmm.
So, but that's the main plot.
Yeah. Some other stuff happens, but it's tied into some twisty turns.
Correct.
And we don't like to ruin the twisty turns here.
Correct. Yeah. And I guess there is an army of the dead that are ruled by a king and queen of the dead.
Yeah.
But that they're just there. They're just zombies.
Yeah. Sounds interesting, and sounds like you would like more information about all that.
Yeah.
But you don't get any.
You wouldn't
Yeah.
get any, actually. Yeah.
So,
Todd, I feel like that was a precursor of your feelings about this movie.
Yeah.
But tell me, what did you think of this?
I'm going to say my opening sentence is, this movie's real bad. But I'm going to backstep from that and try to highlight some stuff that I thought the movie did well.
All right.
I thought the visuals in the movie were really good. Like, I think to me, that's the only thing that Scott Snyder has going for him, is that he can do pretty good visuals. And most of his movies have some form of, like, music video intro where stuff's happening, and typically it looks pretty good. And it always turns out to be probably the best part of the film, is his little music video thing at the beginning of most of his films. Which makes sense, because I think he got to start in music videos. So
Right.
He's a very visual director, and he's good at it. Like, I think people give Scott Snyder a lot of crap, but I think he's very good at.
Isn't it Zack Snyder?
I did. What did I say? Scott?
Scott, yeah.
Yes. Sorry. Scott Ward is in this movie.
Yes. Scott Ward is a character.
Yes.
Zack Snyder is the director.
So,
and I think the writer.
Yes. Yeah, this is his movie, I think, all around.
Yeah.
Yes, that's good. Visuals are good in this movie. There's good makeup. There's some fair action sequences. Like, those things are, like, average to good, I think. Almost everything outside of that is real bad. Like, and I can't even really highlight the acting, because I don't think anyone really, like, killed their parts. It's just they're there. Like, and that's it. And the story is real dumb. And the frustrating part about it is that there's an aspect of this movie that's so interesting. Like, I think there are many things going on that, if they were, like, the focus of the story, could have been a very interesting take on zombie movies. But, of course, we don't get any of that. Like, you get teased by, like, 5 or 6 different really cool things, and then they're never talked about ever in the movie, ever again. Like, So not only is it a bad movie, it's super frustrating because these kind of things that pop up that could be an interesting twist or turn for the movie are just presented, and then as quickly as they're presented, they're never talked about, and that's it. And so it follows in line with, I don't think Zack Snyder is a good director. He can do visuals, and that's it. Like, and specifically for a movie that he probably storyboarded and maybe wrote most of it, it definitely shows that he's not good in those areas. He cannot do a good movie, in my opinion. Like, he needs to not be the director of these movies. He needs to have some influence and stuff like that, but then someone who knows what they're doing needs to take over, or at least steer him in the right direction. So, I don't know what else to say, honestly. Like, I don't support anyone seeing this movie. It was real bad. It was real long. And it doesn't even have, like, super good zombie fights, in my opinion. Like, and I'll say the all-encompassing thing about this movie that I'm going to highlight, that kind of will let you know how everything is set off on the wrong tone, is that there's one character that they pick up in the heist whose only purpose and, like, only thing that is introed about him is that he uses, like, a Jaws of Life saw as a weapon. That's his zombie killing weapon. And that's how you're introduced to him. And he's crazy awesome with this weapon and all this kind of stuff, and it's great. And then he never uses that weapon in the entire movie. It's never used as a weapon against a zombie. It's just there for no reason. And that is the sum up of this ridiculous, stupid movie. that I'm not happy I've seen. So, Matt, I'm not sure how you're going to feel about this movie or how you feel about zombie movies in general, but I would say don't see it. Like, I'm not even going to create a caveat. Like, if you like this, maybe, or if you like that, maybe. No, I will not put my stamp of approval on this movie, period. So, that's where I'm at.
Okay.
Matt?
Well, you've covered the highlights. I'm going to cover some lowlights. You know, I'll say a couple of things. I'm going to keep this pretty short because I think we're in complete agreement about this movie. The first thing is I started watching this movie 3 different times. And I just lost interest twice. I lost interest the third time too, but I gutted it out and watched it for you, listeners, for you. It's not good. Dave Bautista, bless his heart. I don't think he can carry a movie by himself.
No, absolutely not. Yeah.
He just doesn't have the chops.
No.
And to be fair, I don't have the chops either, Todd. So
No. But it's good to know that about yourself.
Yeah.
He's not a leading man. Like, at all.
Right. So they made him a leading man, and he didn't.
People love him people love him that he's Drax in Guardians of the Galaxy. But You know what? Who's not the main focus of those movies? Drax. From Guardians of the Galaxy.
Right.
He's just there.
Right. So, bad call on your main character there. And if I have to hear another zombie wailing or growling or whatever it is that they do I think the goal was to show that the zombies are communicating, but it was the most annoying sound.
Yeah.
And they did it over and over for long periods of time. You've got whole scenes with zombies shrieking at each other, and it sucks. It sucks to listen to, and it's just like, grates on the ears. Grates on the ears.
Well, they have the regular type zombies.
Right.
Then they have these super zombies that they kind of explain how they're made. They're different than the other zombies, but then that's
Right.
it. You don't ever learn more about the super zombies, which do become a pretty big focus of the movie, but you don't get anything else. It's like, oh, they're super.
Right.
When you kill them, blue liquid comes out, and it's like, well, what's happening? Like, where did these, like, how, what's the blue liquid? Like, I don't, like, nothing. You don't get anything.
Yeah. So I agree with you, Todd. I don't really think anyone should see this movie. The only caveat I can think of is if you really love, like if you're in Dave Bautista's family, maybe, or you're
even then,
a
I'd be
close
like,
friend.
I don't know, Mama Bautista, assuming she's still alive.
Yeah.
Don't see this one.
It's bad, and it's Don't see it.
You can support your son in other ways
Yeah.
besides seeing this movie.
That's true. Go watch Guardians of the Galaxy again.
There you go.
It's a much better movie than this one by a lot. So yeah, that's where I'll leave it. I don't really have much to say other than that, and it was a bad experience for me.
Yeah. I watched it with a friend, and we both, by the end of the movie, were like, this was not good. Not good enough.
Okay, there's mayhem breaking out in the parking lot.
Something's happening. I don't know.
These guys, there's a bunch of guys just standing around, and they like
in the street
throwing stuff at
each
the
other?
I
don't know what's happening.
It's pretty wild.
So Matt,
Yes.
I'm gonna do the rating system of one of the only things that I enjoyed about this movie.
Okay.
That I was like, that's genius. How did this seemingly brainless zombie come up with this idea? But how many metal armor helmets would you give this movie, which the main super zombie uses? To which I was like, wow, that's genius. And then it just seems like there's no, like, that's it. Like, and I'm like, how did this thing that just seems like doesn't have anything going on upstairs create this helmet?
Yeah.
So how many helmets would you give this? Obviously, 0 being the worst because you can take a shot to the head, and then 5 being the most because you can cover yourself and 4 other people.
That's right. Yeah. Yeah, these zombies are killed by shots to the head. So having the metal protective helmet that the main alpha zombie has is a really good idea for a zombie or even for a regular person. I feel like it's a good idea for anyone.
Yeah.
So, unfortunately, I don't have many of these helmets to give out for scoring purposes in this. I'm going to give this a 0.8 metal helmet. So not a whole metal helmet, but a piece of a good number of pieces of one.
Yeah.
But that's where I land. 0.8, not good. Only 0.8 because there, like you mentioned, there were some things that I saw that I was like, oh, let's explore that. Oh, okay.
Yeah.
We'll never talk about it again.
No, not at all. Yeah.
So, 0.8.
I think I'm going to be at a 0.5.
Okay.
Because I want half of the helmet. If I'm forced to watch this movie again, I want someone to go ahead and hit me in the part of the head that's not covered by the helmet.
Yeah.
And I'll say that I knew I was not going to like this movie from the beginning, because any movie, show, anything about zombies that has people not head to toe in leather or something that protects them from bites is so dumb to me. And everyone in this movie has sleeveless shirts. The women have like their midriffs and their arms explode. Like there's just not, and for a movie that's supposed to be somewhat smart about zombies or like innovative or whatever, it's just dumb. Like I cannot get behind anything. It's why I stopped watching The Walking Dead. It's why it just blows my mind that we can be so into zombie culture movies and stuff like that. And this huge problem never gets addressed in my mind.
Yeah.
So 0.5, you took your shot, Zach, and you failed utterly. So maybe you should just hang it up, is my opinion.
Quit your job.
Yeah. Find something else to do. Go back to music videos.
Yes. Well, so that's going to mean that our average rating for Army of the Dead is going to come in at a pretty darn low 0.65 metal helmets out of 5.
Yeah.
That's a low score, guys. That's
Pretty
a
low.
score.
I think our second lowest score.
Yeah, it could be. So,
I don't think it got below Cats.
No,
Because I think you were a 1 and I was like a 0.1. What would that put
Cats
us?
a 1?
I thought maybe you did. I don't know. I could be wrong. It was so long ago.
Yeah, it would be like 4.45 or
Okay.
0.5 something. Well, anyway.
If I remember correctly, you liked the dancing in that movie.
I don't remember that, but I'm willing to believe you. You usually remember things. So that's going to wrap it up for this episode of Matt and Todd Go to the Movies, where we reviewed Army of the Dead, and we didn't like it, and we don't think you would either. So don't watch it.
Absolutely.
And but do download our podcast and listen to our podcast.
Hear about how bad of a movie it is instead of wasting the 2.5 hours to discover that yourself.
Trust us to guide you down the road of what movies you should watch or shouldn't watch. So,
yes.
Thank you for listening, all listeners, and we'll see you next time.
Da 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 da
Da da
da da da.
da da da.